Hello.
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 Is it me you're looking for? I can't stand you.
Welcome to another episode of That's a Wrap.
Yes.
With me is Lionel Richie.
From the Commodore. I'm Naomi, your host, one of your hosts.
I am Annette.
Thank you for tuning in to That's a Wrap, your favorite podcast.
Yes.
For all things sexy and hot in film and TV production and creative storytelling from an independent perspective.
Point of view.
See? Okay, what are we talking about today?
Oh, child.
We got a good show, as always.
Yeah, today we are talking about why contracts matter.
The C word.
Yes.
The other C word.
Yes. For some reason, it's like as creatives, we feel
we don't need this.
We don't need that.
That's my boy. That's my girl.
A verbal agreement is okay because
your word
is
your bond. That don't work. The creative space.
We're here to tell you.
Yes. From personal experience.
Yeah.
Contracts matter.
Contracts matter. Yeah. Protect your neck.
Yes. Protect your neck.
As the urban philosopher Ice Cube said, protect your neck.
All right, so we're talking contracts. This is important. Yeah. Super important.
Or as Andrew Caldwell says, important. Remember when he did that video about the masks? This is important. This ain't no rundown.
We'll be back with the importance of contracts. Stop it. All right, we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
But first.
Who be talking? We be talking?
Who be talking?
We be talking.
Oh my gosh. I just had a flashback of Electric Company. Remember when they used to do that?
Oh,
please. Oh God.
Shout out.
We aging ourselves. Okay. So what you got?
Lovey Ajayi.
Mm-hmm. Awesomely Lovey, also AKA Awesomely Lovey.
Yes. We've been a follower for hers for a minute. For a minute.
Yep.
So the other day on IG, she posted a video and I saw it and it was poignant. About do not build your business purely on these walled gardens. So I'm gonna actually in the description there'll be a link to the video. But I just thought that it was very, very important. Because as we build our businesses in these spaces of social media, at any given moment, they can create a rule, pull your content, gone. All your content is gone.
Yeah.
All your followers are gone. What are you doing to make sure your business continues to grow?
Yeah.
Should something happen to these platforms. Like we see it, TikTok, if it's around while this video airs. As content creators, it's time to get back to basics.
Yeah.
Back to basics are websites, newsletters,
blogs.
Another thing that she said,
Patreon.
If you're their Patreon,
there's other avenues, of course, but the back to basics is the real deal, right?
Yeah.
Because I know in her video she said, look, Awesomely Lovey, that blog is still going strong after 16 years?
Yeah.
And people are still going there to get information. She's still able to use that to grow her business. I it is a really, really marvelous video that she put together. The sentiment is powerful.
Right.
If you are using social media as your main source,
Yeah.
especially if you're using it as your main source, these platforms can do whatever they want, whenever they want,
Yeah.
and your stuff could be gone tomorrow. I'm thinking of your stuff could be gone tomorrow.
Right.
So you've got to have more stable
Mm-hmm.
ways to get to your customers, right?
Yeah,
To
most
get
definitely.
to connect with them and
Mhm.
and it not solely be based on social media platforms. And I love that, she still has her website. The blog is still there and still relevant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um and I think she said that the most important
Oh my God, I wrote that
re-
down.
say it.
You know what actually makes more money than a follower? An email
Mhm.
address.
Mhm.
Because you have direct contact to them at any given moment.
Yes.
If I'm on your page and I'm now a follower, you have no idea how to get in contact with me
Other than that platform.
other than that platform. So I thought that was
It really
that was
is.
that was like a aha moment
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. Especially for us, which is great. Like the fact that it came out now, it really is great for us because we're still in that building stage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's perfect timing to get this information now because you and I had talked about doing a blog on our website
Yeah,
and
yeah.
other things. And I was telling you, like, um even free information that I'm finding online, you can get that free information as long as you provide an email.
Right.
Because that content creator is saying, I want to stay in touch with
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
I want to be able to talk to you directly. And that's the best way to do it.
Yep.
And now I realize the importance
Mm-hmm.
of why they do making sure that they get your email.
Yeah, I think this fig tree trying to sneak up on me.
That
You
fig
saw
tree-
me like this.
That
like,
fig tree is like,
what?
I may
What?
not look real, but I'm real. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I know like when we redesigned our site,
Mhm.
definitely go check it out, girlcodemedia.com.
Whoop, whoop.
We were talking about the blog and it was just like, oh, it's another thing that we got to keep track of. But
Yeah.
now there's an importance for that there
Yes.
to make time.
Yeah.
And now that we're in this group, that this business growth group,
Mhm.
the two of the main things that they were talking about, the blog
Yeah.
and the newsletter,
Yeah.
and that improves your SEO and
Yeah.
all that other stuff. So,
It's just you have to remember to find other old school ways, basically, to stay connected to your content, your followers, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
them. Stay connected old
Right.
school way.
Yeah.
Old school, I'm just saying.
Yeah, sometimes old school is the
New school. Yeah.
So definitely check out that video. It's maybe about 45 seconds,
Mhm.
but 45 seconds of pow 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 pow.
Yeah.
And
She's giving it to you good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the only way that Lovey can give it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my Who Be Talking for today.
Okay.
Definitely go check that out. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we talking contracts.
The C word. And we're back.
Hey y'all.
Contracts.
Oh wait, before we start,
Yeah.
we need you all to do us a solid.
Oh yes.
As we grow the channel, we need you to hit that like and subscribe button and type and leave us a comment.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear your contract stories or lack thereof or what you've experienced, because especially on these independent sets, sometimes it's just, hey, you want to work on this? Sure. And that's all you got. So, and
right.
We just want to make sure that you protect yourself.
Yep.
So, yep.
So hit that like and subscribe button. And also, you know what? If you did go check out the Lovey J video, what'd you think?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
what old school ways are you going to interpret? Are you going to implement
Mm-hmm.
to make sure you keep growing your business and not real relying
On
on
social media
social
alone.
media? Yeah, alone.
It's a tool.
A tool,
And it can't be the only tool in the
only
box.
tool
In the
in the
box.
box.
So
Yes.
okay.
All right.
All right.
But now we are pivoting
Whew.
into contracts.
Mm.
You know, we're saying
It's
I'm saying yay, right? Contracts.
Are you saying yay?
Yeah, I'm saying yay.
As
Because
you're in front of that computer.
contracts protect you.
Yes, they do.
You know,
They do.
contracts give you peace of mind. You don't have to second guess. Did they say this? Did
Mhm.
they? What do they want from me? You know,
Everything is laid out.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's what I really think they personify for the most part, is everybody knows what's going on, what they're responsible for, and there is an agreement to it. So on set, there isn't going to be like, well, I didn't know. Was I supposed to do that? Or is this something I'm supposed to give you? No. All of that is laid out.
Yeah, because it's, you know, it dispels unclear expectations, right? And any confusion in your deliverables, who's doing what, right? So people are able to stay in their own lane.
Yeah.
And a written contract and agreement assures that everyone is on the same page, right? But it's very interesting. When I was working on Today's Talk 65, and we were looking at a trademark attorney, and she said it's so interesting that creatives never, the last thing that we think about is protecting ourselves, whether it's like trademarks or even contracts.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting and so on point.
Yeah. Trademarks, that's going to be a whole different subject later, because I'm really beginning to see how important they are in protecting your whatever you're creating, right? Whatever it is that you want to do a trademark for. But contracts, we learned the hard way. But sometimes that's just the path that you have to take so that you don't make the same mistakes, right?
Yeah.
But I am in full agreement that in anything, definitely, that Girl Code Media does moving forward, we'll have contracts in place before any camera is turned on. Anything that is just part of our. That's just what
it's going to be part of our DNA.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel that, you know, it's independence. When you're non-union, sometimes you're working on independent projects, and you know, it's Stan from down the street who's been an independent filmmaker, and he's like, "Oh, yo, so you want to be a DP? Well, I'm shooting something. Why don't you come on and, you know, give you $75?"
Right.
And you're just like, okay, great.
Sounds like a plan. Sure.
And you show up, and then he's like, oh, you know what? After like a 15-hour day, here's pizza instead. And you were counting on that $75 because you had to drive all the way to the location.
Yeah.
And then you drive back, and then there's tolls, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially on indie projects, it's easy to just, hey, we worked before, no problem, right? I think what sometimes gets lost on indie projects is you still have to maintain a level of professionalism.
Yeah.
And the contract is that, right? Sure, I think a lot of people may get like, well, where do I get one? Do I have to? I'm not a lawyer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There are many places where you can get easy, simple templates, because we're not talking about major contracts that are like pages and pages and pages, right?
Right.
I think they're simplified templates
Mm-hmm.
that independent creatives can use to just make sure, hey, so we are agreeing on price,
Yep.
on we're agreeing on all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to make sure that it's clear that we're both on the same page. Boom, it's done.
Yeah.
I think some folks just, you get intimidated because it's a legal thing.
Right.
Don't be.
Yeah. And it's great that you brought up that point. So like key elements of every contract or deal memo
Mhm.
or agreement. I know some people call them letters of agreement. I
Yep.
just worked on a project that I sent out letters of agreement,
Right.
whatever it is, the scope of the work,
Mm-hmm.
payment terms,
Mm-hmm.
ownership and rights. And I would think like production dates and location,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
those are like the main things.
Yeah.
But ownership and rights, especially
Mm-hmm.
because it outlines who owns the final product,
Right.
usage rights, and how IP will be credited.
IP.
Yeah.
Intellectual property. Yeah.
And then also how you're going to be credited,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
Like
mhm.
at the project, how are you going to be
Yeah.
in the credits? Are
Yep.
you going to be producer? Or are you going to be associate producer?
Mhm.
Are you going to be production supervisor or UPM?
Right.
So it, like you said, it doesn't have to be this elaborate 15-page.
Right. It could just, yeah.
Studio Binder has stuff that
Free stuff. Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
can definitely download.
I just say it's worth it to protect you,
Mm-hmm.
to protect those that are working on this project with you. It's really used more for just protection
Yeah.
and alignment.
And I definitely, because I know for me, whenever I'm on a project and it's
Mhm.
like, okay, we want to bring you on, great. How soon can I see the deal memo?
Mhm.
Because I know nothing is not for real unless I see the deal memo.
Right.
Like we talking that I got
Yeah.
a job, but until I see that deal memo, I know that I don't.
Right.
And so it's getting into that
Mhm.
space to
Mhm.
ask for that deal memo.
Mhm.
But a lot of the I just worked on a project and I would send deal memos out and they weren't signing them. Like I had to like remind them.
Because why weren't they signing them? Do you think they were just like, is this something that I actually have to do? I'd never encountered this before, or was it fear of like, what am I signing?
No, I think that they just thought that, oh, I could just sign it up until like the last possible
Oh,
moment.
okay. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get on this job. I may have something else lined up, kind of thing, potentially.
But also just the thought that I don't know. Because if somebody's coming at me with a deal
Yeah.
memo and a job, I'm signing that bad
Right.
boy ASAP because I don't want y'all to like second guess that
Yeah.
I'm going to be the person for this.
Right.
Like, I want you to know that I'm that person.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm wondering if these, whoever these people may be, do they not sign it because they're thinking, I've never had to do this before? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
oh, I thought you just said, okay, you're going to pay me 500 and like that's all that's needed. Maybe I don't know.
I've encountered that.
Yeah.
Recently,
Mhm. Mhm.
as UPM, so I encountered that. And it's definitely encountering that
Yeah.
because they were newbies. There needs to be a class somewhere
Yeah.
about what to
Okay.
expect of being on set.
Okay.
But I guess it's also because we're of a particular age and our work
Mhm.
ethic it comes from
Yeah.
the steel mill, right? Like the boomers,
Right.
that you want them to know that you are
Interested. Like you
Like,
want this.
I
Yeah.
am invested in this.
Yeah.
You sent me something, I'm sending it back. So
Okay.
you know that I'm not. So it was just like, yo, I sent you that. Can I get it back? Are you
Mhm.
not interested? And they're like, oh no, I am. I was just busy with other jobs, sorry. And
Okay.
it's just like, wow, okay.
Okay.
But it's generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So nonverbal is just not the way you want to go, right?
Nonverbal is not the way you want to go.
You want something on paper, you want signatures, you want a contract to protect yourself as a creative.
Yeah.
Um,
So under that, when you're like, why verbal agreements aren't enough? So unclear expectations, lack of legal protection, like in the event of a dispute, a verbal agreement, like, yo, Stan said that he was gonna give me $75, Your Honor. That ain't gonna fly. Industry complexity. Because creative projects involve multiple contributors from various places and stakeholders.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Without clear documentation, roles, and responsibilities, things can overlap, leading to conflicts. Like, I thought I was going to do that. No, he said he was going to do it, so I didn't do it. And now you don't have, run a show, or the call sheet didn't go out, right? So those type of things.
Okay. What do you have for some elements, some key elements?
Scope of work.
Okay.
Always what your job
like
is
things that you definitely want to see in a contract.
Scope of work. What are you hiring me for?
Yes.
Your PA, but sometimes PAs are the PA for camera. Sometimes the PA are PA for gaffer.
Right.
Right? Or set design.
Yeah.
Right? Or crafty PA. You want the scope of work.
Yeah.
So if I am the producer, what is my scope of work as the producer? And then payment terms.
Yes. Pay me.
Pay
me. Yeah.
Payment terms. And also not just what your rate is, but how long after the project is over. Like, is it going to be 30 days? Is it going to be 7 days? Is it going to be 14 days?
When are you getting paid?
Right. Okay. When am I getting paid?
Yep.
If I'm in pre-production and this is a 6-month project, I ain't waiting 6 months to get my money. So what are those payment terms?
Rihanna said it.
Right? Shoot. Ownership and rights.
Okay. What about so maybe this is in the scope of work, you would have like, this shoot's going to be 3 days, and this is, this. So I think the scope of work is super, super important, because we had to talk about roles and responsibilities.
Yeah.
So that's another way of knowing this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. So yeah, the importance of contracts, having, and I know it can seem scary. I know it can seem cumbersome as you're putting it together, but it is protection for all.
It is protection for all.
And an agreement for all. Yeah. Everybody knows where they stand.
Yeah. And then also as the production company that's giving out the contract, you're saying, hey, I see you, I value you, I value your time.
And that's what this is for.
And that's what this is
because
for.
Because I want to protect you as well.
Yeah. And the time. And you want people to come in knowing what it is that they need to do.
Yeah.
But another thing is like real life examples of what can go wrong without.
Let me tell you something.
What is that?
Good intentions is all good.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like a contract. So here we were, as we were starting the documentary, we were working on that. We connected with a partner, and we were all excited. This was such a huge opportunity. And I don't know if we even had a discussion. I know we had a discussion about contracts, but that was way after.
No, we had the discussion in the beginning. We were just like, yeah, we need to get a contract. We said that.
But we didn't. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
We said it, and this person also said it.
Right. But nobody put in any effort to get a contract at that time. In the beginning.
Yeah. We did not. But we did on that first video call we did, we specifically said it, and this person also said it.
Right.
But we hit the ground running
immediately. Yeah.
That even when we knew that we were going in November, we still said it, because I remember I was working in Red Hook, and you're just like, what about the contract? And I'm like, it's coming, and that's my bad. Like, there's so many crucial learning points.
Yes. Yeah.
That we got so bogged up in the production. We assumed that they were going to get the attorney, and then they would give us the contract.
Yes.
And then when we realized, when we got back, that was not the case, then that's when
we put out the money to get an attorney,
the agreement,
and by then it was too late for us. We didn't realize it at the time, but on the partner's end, it was just like, oh, well, I got to get so-and-so to take a look at this. And it's like, money has already been spent. Thousands have already been spent. Time has already been spent, right? People have, we had a crew that needed to get paid.
Yeah.
And like so much was going on, and we were still pushing forward because we were very focused on finishing and getting this done. We were still very excited about it. But what was to our detriment was that because we didn't have a contract, there was really no recourse.
Yeah.
There was nothing that we could follow to say, hey, we've now put in this amount. We're waiting. Where is yours? And it was dead silence.
Yeah.
So there was never a contract. And it was a painful lesson to learn.
Was very hard.
But
it was like it was necessary, because now there's any project that we're on now, we're just like, all right, so let's get those agreements and let's send that stuff out. Even if it is a barter,
it's still something,
a barter type agreement, we still have that agreement on there, because I really wanted to get into our DNA, because I know as a freelancer, 98% of the time, I try not to move forward with any projects without an agreement first in place.
Yeah. And I'm sure some of you may have your own stories of, things that may not have gone well because there wasn't a contract. So if nothing else, take this as a as a reminder that if you're working, especially in the creative space.
So real life examples of what can go wrong: unpaid work, right? Like we did, credit disputes, you contribute to a project, but it's left uncredited, or they give you the wrong credit. Scope creep. That means that the scope of your work just keeps creeping up and up and up, where you're producer, production manager, you're also PA, and you're probably like,
it's like, but
this
catering. Says that I'm only PAing, and somehow I'm script supervisor, I'm doing all these other things, but the money hasn't changed.
But the compensation is not there. So you want to make sure your SOW is
that. I think that happens a lot on independent productions.
It
because
really does.
It's like, if the money is tight, can you do 15 jobs?
Yeah.
But no, we didn't put it in a contract. We're hiring you for 2, but we're going to need you to do 15.
And that's like, executive producers gotta chill on that, right? This is your baby. This is your child. Like, you can't keep thinking that everybody's going to do this solid for you. You know, you got to think about how you would feel if you were in their shoes
Mm-hmm.
and talk it over with them. If they're just like, no, I don't mind doing 3 jobs, then great. You got yourself a
Yes.
solid.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes you get what you pay for. And if you don't pay anything for it, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So contracts, they matter.
And you matter.
And you matter. And your money matters. Pico.
Really?
Right? Luke Oil.
The utilities.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay.
Shoot.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Okay. We're going to go to commercial. We'll be back in a bit.
And we're back.
Why contracts matter. Protect your neck.
And that's all we have for you for today. Thank you for tuning in to That's a Wrap. Please like and subscribe and comment on your journey with contracts. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you all for tuning in.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap, baby.
See you next time.